I said it earlier this year with Darren Aronofsky. I said it about a month ago with Tribeca. And I guess I'm going to have to say this for a third time with A24. About how the mighty, the true mighty, have truly fallen. What the hell are we doing here, guys? Intro, go. Hello, this is Daniel Mart. Back again. I'm an actor, filmmaker, and at this point, an anti-AI advocate in the arts. Because what the hell are we doing here? Literally a month and a half ago, I was talking about Tribeca and how they sold out to AI because they decided to put an AI slop into their festival. I criticized, again, earlier this year, Darren Aronofsky for basically trying to create some AI crap series for the History Channel. Or Times Magazine, I don't even remember anymore. It doesn't matter because it's not relevant. It shouldn't be relevant in the first place. But now we have A24. A24, who has been one of the bastions of independent filmmaking. They are big. Like, we all know A24. They are big, especially when it comes to independent filmmaking. I think when it comes to independent filmmaking, it's like A24, Neon, Blumhouse. I'm pretty sure there's some other ones that are in the mix I'm not thinking about at the moment, but like those are the ones that, when you think about independent filmmaking, independent studios, those are the ones that come to mind. And this year, they've done some great stuff. The Backrooms has done gangbusters for them in the past month and a half too, you know? And they're failing to AI. They're basically playing an Ex Machina, which, funny enough, is what they also released about, 10 years ago? But yeah, they're selling out to AI. What the hell is this deal? So I'm looking at my notes here. So if I look this way, it's because I'm looking at my notes. But yeah, so recently they decided to do this deal with Google, which from my understanding, I could be wrong here, from what I understand, Google originally had this deal with Disney, and it fell through. That or A24 had a deal with Disney. Disney somehow is kind of in the mix here as well, but that's neither here nor there. Because basically, just to read here what it says here, A24 and Google, they made a deal for $75 million so that A24 can further develop AI tools for filmmaking. Why? Honestly, why? When the industry at large is actively trying to tell you that we do not want AI in any way, shape, or form in our films, you should respect that. You should use your logic and maybe think, yes, I understand, 75 billion would give us a lot of money, but maybe we should not be using this to promote the death of our industry. You know, ever thought about that? A24? Clearly not, if you took this depraved kind of deal. Now, there is one caveat to this, which, frankly, I guess is kind of a bright side. And even then, I'm saying I guess because just the fact that this is AI in the first place does not make this a bright side in any sense of the word. But from what I understand, this doesn't give access to Google. Google does not have access to A24's library, so they can't use AI crap to further destroy something like The Backrooms or Civil War or Ex Machina or 20th Century Woman or any of these other great A24 movies that they've done. You know, like the Robert Eggers movies as well. Like, you know, like, what the hell are we doing here? I'm still just in amazement because, like, I guess that's the bright side. You're not going to destroy films like Bodies, Past Lives, like that too. But, like, just the idea that you guys are pissing off filmmakers that you've worked with yourselves by advancing the development of AI tools that we clearly do not want in the first place, especially given the fact that you've built a backbone on independent filmmaking and the idea of doing this all for yourself, all by yourself in the cheapest way possible, so to speak. You know, and I'm not saying cheap as a derogatory term in this case, but like in the most affordable way possible. Because most of these movies, like Bodies, like Past Lives, Civil War, Ex Machina, I'm just going through their filmography here, you know, like some of this stuff would not be released by the likes of Paramount or Sony, or Warner Bros., realistically speaking, or Disney, or any of these big studios. There's a reason why we turn to movies like The Zone of Interest, for example, turn to studios like this, like A24, like Neon, like Blumhouse, because we know we're going to have a lot more control in what we have. We know that's going to be actually cared for. We know that it's actually going to be something that the studios are going to take truly seriously. You know? It's not like in Sony, or Warner Bros., or Disney, or 20th Century Fox. You know, it's not like those studios where we often hear stories from the filmmakers or from actors or whoever saying like, oh, there's interference, the studios interfered. We don't hear that from A24. We don't hear that from Neon, from Blumhouse, you know, Lionsgate, whatever. You know, like some of these independent studios. What's J.J. Abrams' company, Bad Robot, right? Like that type of stuff. You know, like we don't hear that from these type of studios, generally speaking. But now with this basically craps on everything that you guys stand for. You know, this is even allowing the development of AI technology right there is an abuse for the filmmakers at all. That is a stance I am willing to die on. Anybody, studio like A24, anybody like Darren Aronofsky, who's a director, anybody like Tribeca, who's a film festival, who in any way promotes the use of AI, whether it be by the supposed advancement of AI technology, by the supposed advancement of AI movies being in your festivals, by the supposed advancement of just making AI slop for the masses. That alone right there shows you have no respect for the industry. That alone shows you have no respect for the arts. That alone shows you have no respect for filmmakers. That alone shows that you are willing to abuse the filmmakers because you do not respect them, because we do not want this. How many times do we have to say that we do not want this? And look, I understand I'm just some guy. I'm a failed filmmaker. I'm a failed actor based out of Miami. Okay, cool. So my voice maybe isn't going to be perpetrated that much compared to other voices who are speaking out. But still, how are you not getting this to your big brains that we do not want this? Oh, wait, that's right. I go back to the SAG after strike where Fran Drescher and Duncan Crabtree sold us out for their own personal pockets. That's what happened. Thank you. That's always the explanation I come back to, because realistically, had he actually gave a damn about us, about the filmmakers, about the actors, none of this would have happened, or at least not to the degree it's happening now. Realistically speaking, Jesus Christ. Now, they are getting, rightfully so, severe backlash against this. One of my favorite ones that came off right off the bat is Kane Parsons. Again, he's the one who did Backrooms. Again, Backrooms is still in theaters as of the time I'm filming this. Backrooms is still in theaters. And he basically tore them apart. Just to read the quote here. Just to read this from Deadline. This is the article I have this from. It says, the Backrooms director recently emphasized the genuinely harmful consequences that have already begun unfolding as generative AI has become more popular in Hollywood and beyond, sadly. It says, I think I'm in the same boat as most well-adjusted people. Thank you. You are one of us. One of the people who actually gives a damn about filmmaking. Parsons told The Australian, if I could snap my fingers and make generative AI disappear forever, I probably would. Now, the one red flag there says probably. I just would. Period. I would not. That would not be a second guess. I would not have probably. I would just say I would do it. I will do it. If I could do that, if I could Thanos snap AI out of the arts, I would do it like that. You know, I don't care if I get burnt up like the Hulk. Like that. Creatively, I get no enjoyment from using those tools. It defeats the purpose entirely for me. And again, he is someone that just recently worked with A24. He is saying this. He's not just saying this to A24. He is saying this to the masses. There is nothing that's worth AI. There's nothing worth AI. Now, supposedly, he does see the benefits of it. Brother, what benefits? There are none. But whatever he goes on to say, right now it's difficult to discuss objectively because there's so much at stake and so many genuinely harmful consequences already happening, such as this, such as Tribeca, such as Aronofsky, these people who are bringing this in the response to it, such as the charlatan from last year who made the AI actress, such as the charlatan from last year who made those disgusting Kalshi commercials, such as any other charlatan up here who's trying to promote this garbage. It's harmful. That's the one red flag I do have right now with Kane Parsons, because he says probably, again, it should just be, I do not want this. I would snap this in a heartbeat. That is it. I don't care if I get burnt like the Hulk. It is what it is. That's it. We should not have AI in the arts. Another filmmaker that has also come against him, and I'll be honest, I don't know this filmmaker. I don't know if they've worked with A24 in the past, but either way, I do applaud them for saying this next thing, and that is Justine Bateman, and I'm getting this from IndieWire, and it says, it's quite disappointing that a company that just enjoyed the triumphant box office returns of a staunchly anti-AI Kane Parsons background will make such a deal. All A24 directors should prepare to have your films altered against your wishes with this deal. Google is a company, and then she links to something later on. But yes, like that's really it. It doesn't matter that Google itself doesn't have the library. It's the fact that A24 has the ability to change your films with AI. And here's the thing, change it even before AI. changing films or changing the aspect of films has always been controversial. You know, it's always been a thing like how should something be edited per se. I go back to editing because it's the simplest thing to explain, but there's other avenues of it. Like take the Star Wars movies. You know, a lot of people still criticize George Lucas for adding CGI to the original trilogy. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, and that was human made. You know, that's something that was human made. You know, and he still got backlash. And he's one of the greatest filmmakers from his time. And he still got backlash. So just imagine how much worse now the backlash is going to be with AI. How much worse the backlash is going to be given our current studio atmosphere, our current studio environment, where the filmmakers, generally speaking, already have a lot less control. Again, this is coming from a company that has prided itself in the past, of giving control to the filmmakers no matter what. You know, barely any input from the studios, realistically speaking. But now with this, now we have to figure out, I guess, or realize the risk of, like, it doesn't matter what kind of art we do. If they don't respect us, which they clearly already don't respect it if you're making this deal, but if they don't respect us enough, they'll just change the film because of AI. Because of AI, to make that profit. And guess what? Now our film is not our own film. Now our film is suffering. Why? Because A24 and all these other studios who think that this is appropriate have just tarnished the legacy of filmmaking with the use of AI. And honestly, the thing that pisses me off the most is honestly A24's response. And it's one of the most insane responses I've seen in a long time. Honestly, up there to the same degree as the charlatan who made the AI actress, such as a charlatan from Tribeca. But this is what they said. This is a research partnership, my ass. We're working side by side with DeepMind's researchers to learn, iterate, and build, having an active hand in shaping new tools and workflows. Okay, not even gonna lie, that sentence alone sounded like AI. It's just me, or the grammar seemed off. To learn, iterate, and build, like, I don't know why. I know I cut this right now, but there's a big pause I had there between learn and iterate because just the flow of it seemed very weird, but I know I cut that, but whatever. Our relationship with our audience is something we don't take for granted. Clearly you do if you made this deal. You do take it for granted. Not even the audience, but you take your filmmakers for granted, your actors, your producers for granted if you made this deal. The partnership exists because we want to dictate what tools get built for artists. Here's the thing, the artists have actively, openly been stating for several years at this point, ever since Crabtree and Drescher sold us out, we have been saying that we do not want AI in our films. So unless the outcome of this deal is that you're actually going to destroy AI, which I highly doubt it, there's no reason to make this deal. And so they have a voice in shaping them rather than having tools handed to them. Again, we do not want the tools. We don't care for the tools. Real filmmakers want real tools. We don't want to rely on a bunch of codes, is what it comes down to. And then this final line pisses me off. We'd rather have a seat at the table than on the sidelines. You already had a seat on the table. If anything, you had one of the more respected seats at the table. Even more respect than the likes of Sony, than the likes of Warner Bros., than even the likes of Disney in some respects. You already had a seat at the table. With this, you've immediately sidelined yourself. And just sold out to corporate greed and corporate depravity. That's what you've done. Because of your own actions, you are now sidelining. You're effectively sidelining yourself, and that's it. And honestly, I said this with Aronofsky, but now the same filter, I guess, has to be applied to A24, where every movie moving forward, I guess starting next year, because I think that Robin Hood movie probably wouldn't be affected. Like, I think starting next year, or maybe 2028, I guess is the only real thing, and even then, that's a big-ass maybe. But he's saying every movie moving forward, coming from A24, now has to be put under a lens, because now we have to figure out and debate, was there AI used in this movie? Because of the crap that you just pulled. And here's the thing, we may not even be able to rely on the filmmakers, because who knows, maybe A24 took the rights of the filmmakers, because clearly they don't care about abusing the filmmakers with this deal, but because of that, maybe they took the rights of the filmmakers and they just inserted AI propaganda trash into the films no matter what. You have no respect for filmmakers, just like Aronofsky, just like Tribeca, just like the charlatan from Kalshi, just like the charlatan who made the AI actress. You guys have no respect for the filmmakers. And again, like I said in the intro, my gosh, how the truly mighty have fallen. Again, A24, you have built your reputation, the backs on independent filmmaking, on filmmakers having the gumption to do stuff on their own, of human-made art. The closest thing you ever came to AI before this was Ex Machina, which was granted one of your best films, but it's so sad that that's the lesson you learn from Ex Machina. Not that AI is bad, but like, hey, we should maybe use AI so we could kill each other afterwards. That's the lesson that you guys took from like 10, 12 years ago, whenever that movie came out. Jesus Christ. This is sad, and this is maddening. AI in any form in the arts is maddening, and what the hell are we doing here? A24, this is a disappointment in so many regards, and I hope you guys get torn apart. Honestly, I say this, I hope you guys fail. I genuinely hope you guys fail, because this is one of the deepest pits of depravity I've seen in filmmaking, and there's a lot of going on with that this year, especially with, again, Tribeca and Darren Aronofsky. A lot of depravity happened with AI. What the hell? I expect this from Warner Bros. I expect this from Sony. I expect this from Disney. We've seen this. This was a controversy back in the Oscars when Emilia Perez and Conclave and The Brutalist came out, using them as examples, because we knew they had AI. You know, Emilia Perez with the AI voices, The Brutalist with the AI sets, or whatever it was. But keep in mind, those were with big studios. What the hell are we doing here, A24? This is... Cancel the deal. Really, if you want goodwill again from the audience and the filmmakers, cancel the deal. I know you guys won't have the spine anymore to do so, but cancel the deal. What the hell? This is Daniel Mart signing off. Screw you.